My name is Keegan Duchek, and I am going to take you through my journey and my reflection on my ESCI 302 class. First, I'm going to explain who I was when I entered this class and compare it to who I am now. When the semester began, I was introduced to the idea of blogging. At first, I was skeptical because I had never blogged before and I was uncomfortable about the idea of coming out of my comfort zone about creating a creative journal entry for my blog. I stuck with my normal and safe alternatives, which included paper and pencil crayons. I enjoyed seeing how creative my classmates got with their creative journals because some used materials from the environment, recycled materials, or a mixture of both. I appreciated comments from my classmates that would challenge me to think deeper and harder about environmental education. When I first started this class, I thought that this was going to be an easy forward thinking class because every other science class I took beforehand was like that. I soon realized that I was wrong. In this class, we were encouraged to think outside the box and to question the norms. At first, I was scared and thought, oh, what am I in for this semester? I found it really hard for there not to be, as Raven and Coyote stated, no straight answer. As the class continued, I found it was challenging to question the paradigms that are so common sense to us. But as the semester continued, I had become more comfortable with stepping out of my comfort zone, and these challenges became less and less apparent. Before this class, I thought that I appreciated the environment because I grew up on a grain farm, took part in things such as recycling, growing our own garden in the summer, cleaning up garbage that was lying in the ditches, and not littering. I thought of the environment as the outdoors and what you see, hear, and smell while outside. But now that I have taken this class, I have come to the realization that by only partaking in these activities, it is simply not enough. I have created such a greater sense of respect for the environment thanks to the discussions that have taken part in this class and learning about environment issues that my classmates had presented. I am finding myself wanting to do more to raise awareness about how we have to start taking care of the environment. As a future teacher and a future environmental educator, I have the ability to incorporate environmental education into my lesson plans because, like David Orr states, all education is environmental education. I also have the ability to encourage the younger generation of creating habits that will benefit the environment. Now, when I say this, I don't mean to create what David Sobel would consider to be ecophobia, but I want to challenge his thinking about how he thinks that by exposing children to environmental problems at a too young of an age, that we are going to disconnect them from the environment. But now that I have been taught to challenge the norms, I disagree with his thinking. Yes, I don't believe that children need to be so focused on oil spills and rainforest deforestation, but I do think that they can understand what little actions they can take to protect the environment as a starting point. I want to give them knowledge about how to protect our ozone layer by educating them that we shouldn't drive our vehicles everywhere, that we can save energy by shutting off the lights when they aren't needed, and actions they can take to help animals in their everyday environment from becoming endangered. Then, once they can get these actions into their everyday habits and create a more efficient understanding of how to help protect the environment, then we can introduce larger problems as they age and as their knowledge develops. Before this class started, I had never heard of the term eco-literacy before. If someone would have asked me before what I thought the term eco-literacy meant, I would have given the same response that I stated about what the environment used to mean to me. Now my understanding of eco-literacy is totally different. I realize that from our love letters and poems that everyone's thought of eco-literacy is different. I believe that eco-literacy means understanding the natural systems that make life possible on Earth and creating a sustainable relationship with the land by recycling, reusing materials, and realizing actions that harm the Earth. These ideas are not a hard concept to accomplish and be aware of, but people just don't want to take the time and effort that is required to help protect the environment because they don't feel like they're the problem. When in reality, all the people that say, oh, I'm not the problem, so I don't have to care, are the problem. Later, I realized that eco-literacy is largely related to the free loose leaf reading because I believe it to be about reconnecting to the environment. I used to think that because I went on hikes and outdoor ed trips with my school that I was connecting to the land. But Gelter states in his reading that outdoor activities in nature or a superficial wilderness trip is not enough to obtain the deep experience of connectedness to the more than human world. This then got me thinking, if these activities don't connect me to the land, what does? Luckily enough, in this class, we took time to go outside and practice stillness. At first, I felt really silly sitting in the snow with my hood up, looking around, and seeing everybody walking around the university look at me. But the more times that we practiced stillness, I got excited and found myself looking forward to the time that we got to go outside and practice stillness. With each time we practiced stillness, I found myself once again coming out of my comfort zone and eventually lying down on the snow without a rug, closing my eyes, and listening to the sounds of the environment around me. During this class, I have definitely expanded my knowledge, not just about the environment, but also about my own eco-identity. I had realized that as a future educator, I have the ability to educate and shape the minds of my future students. I hope to be able to teach my students that learning does not only take place in a classroom, but also out in the world around us, which can create a passion for the environments in my future students.